Tanker, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Let's start off with the number one topic that everyone's talking about, and that's jobs and job creation. What do you see that needs to be done in the Miramichi to create jobs?
I believe that, we can't just wait for governments to put things here. We got to go and seek or find ourselves. And I said it as a city councillor as well. If elected as an independent MLA, it gives me the opportunity also to go and meet with our fabrication shops and also our welding shops, get them together, and we do a trade mission to Alberta and Saskatchewan, and go and get the work and bring the work here back home, do the work, and then ship the product out west. This is going to create more jobs, good paying jobs, and bring some of our people back home with their trades. As well, when we talk about creating jobs, we also got to talk about the atmosphere of economic development. My wellness center project that I proposed to council would be one of the economic generators for the city. With a 2,000-seat convention center, an Olympic-sized pool, and a touring ice surface and an indoor track. We also got to make sure that we work more also with our existing companies to make sure that they can continue to work and expand. Example, Miramichi Lumber. I talked to Danny Henderson the other day, and the trouble that they're having, and he was telling me, his tanker, the right logs got to go to the right mill. That's the only problem, tanker, that we're seeing. And I also support them with the Miramichi fiber, and where they're going to process, they'll do all of the tree. And it's nice to have all of the tree done here in Miramichi instead of being shipped to, or wood being shipped out of the province to have done. I'll give you an example of what value added. When we have the sawdust, there's the end product, where if you put a little beeswax in it to keep it together, it also acts as fuel wood and also for fire starter. So we can do that right here in Miramichi. So again, with value add, it's going to create more jobs, and the pellet plants are very important as well. They're going to create more jobs as well.
The big one for the PCs, and they've turned into a major topic, of course, is shale gas. What's your stance on that industry?
I believe that if it's done safely and a reputable company comes in and does it, that has experience, like Shell Canada, I believe that it's going to pay dividends, not only to the province. Right now the province is facing a $12.2 billion debt, and we're almost bankrupt. So we got to use the industry for royalties, invest. It'll allow us also to pay the province. It'll also invest, that we can invest the money into our hospitals, our schools, our nursing homes, our special care homes, better care for our seniors who want to be in home, allow us to have a full-fledged university here, and also to allow us to have funding to help our students who need it the most are going to college, where they carry a heavy debt load. I believe that it also is going to help the property owners when they pay royalties if they have a well there. It's going to bring our people home roughly about 5,000 to 10,000 they estimate, and it's not new to Alberta, and Miramichiers have been traveling out west for the last 25 to 30 years doing seismic and doing shale gas. I have a young lad on my bus that graduated 20 years ago. The young lad is from Miramichi, him and his brother, in the same industry, and they were telling me here 2 weeks ago that they want to come home. And they said, hey, tanker. I asked him what the young lad did. He said, I work for Shell Canada, tanker. I'm responsible for 97 shale gas wells. And he said, tanker, the smell, people say, is strong. That he said, some tanker smells like molasses, a little sweet. But he said, other than that, tanker, it's going to bring a lot of us home. As well, tanker, we said, we got to make sure that we can use it here in our community and have access to it. Because he said, for heating tanker homes, for industry who need it, it'll be a big boost tanker. So I'm a full supporter of the shale gas industry.
You touched a little bit on it, but forestry remains a major concern. You talked a little about Miramichi lumber and stuff. What are some of the other things that you need to see that probably needs to be done on the forestry issue?
I believe that the forests that we have in Miramichi, and Miramichi is a forest capital of Canada, and what happens is it's our resources. You know, we've seen companies because where we have UPM, and it's sad where the mill is down, that Irving and them was trying to come in and take over our supply. But when I sat on committee of supply for the province, the wood was allocated for the mills, for Miramichi. And that's the way it should be. You know, like I said earlier, right logs going to the right mill. I also talked to a gentleman who owns Nelson Forest Products, and he was telling me between the Liberals and the Conservatives, we're jerking them around, kept telling them, well, I need a business plan, a good business plan. And he said, Tinker, this is what I do. He said, do they not want that mill to run? There's 135 jobs there with a spin-off of 300 jobs. So when we talk about forestry, you know, as mining, look at what's happening with mining. We got to continue to explore mining. You know, with Half Mile Lake and what's happening with Caribou Mines to refine it, that's going to create even more jobs. So there's 300, there's another 600. With the shale gas, there's another 5,000 to 10,000. The pipeline coming from Alberta to St. John is going to bring more of our people home. But we also got to be ready. We also got to make sure that our kids and our people are trained, whether it be welding or in the trades, to show them that we can do the work and keep our people here at home.
Of course, every election, healthcare is a strong issue. We've heard a lot about nursing home beds, a lot of other issues. Can you kind of give your thoughts, share some of your thoughts on healthcare, what needs to be done, what's working, what's not working, where you think it needs to go?
I believe now that we need a 300-bed nursing home facility. It's very critical now. I believe that there's 25 to 35 of our long-term care patients who we love dearly that have already been approved to go into a nursing home, with another 20 people that has been accessed. You know, I think that we need one, and we need one now. Past governments have promised, the money was there, we will bypass, and we shouldn't have been bypassed. And that's why I had left the Conservative Party when Premier Lord had promised me my nursing homes and nursing home extensions, and I had left then and said, no, you promised me them, I promised our people. So I think that's what we see. Our hospital should be upgraded to a trauma center, not only for Miramichi but for northern New Brunswick. This would bring more professionals here, and there's times that if you need a bone specialist on a weekend, you broke a bone, sometimes you have to go to Bathurst and Campbellton. As you know, I'm also a pro-life supporter. I believe in protecting a child in the womb, and I'm also, as an Irish Catholic, I will not go against my faith, and I do not want an abortion center here in Miramichi. And I asked the question last night at the Meet the Candidate. I said to the Liberals, is it true that if the Liberals are elected, that Miramichi will have an abortion center? And I said, you know, and that you're going to be ordered by your leader to follow through, and there was no rebuttals on it from the Liberals. So I think too, we must also maintain our special care homes, because when I visited a special care home the other day, and I asked the seniors how they like it, and they said, hey Tinker, we love it here, we love the companionship and the caring. The only thing is as you know, I'm also support labor. I also believe that as a middle class working people, hard working people, when we talk economy, to have money to also to invest in the economy, and the working people are the ones that also go into our stores and also go into our restaurants. Also provincial employees, as you know, I'm a provincial employee as well as a school bus driver, but I do work. Will work hard for our employees, and whether you make $5 an hour or whether you make $20 an hour, labor also needs a voice in it. And when you talk about jobs, when we've seen the former Liberals and the Conservatives, when they were in power the last 8 years, I've been able to govern for 8 years, and we've seen 6,500 jobs lost between the Liberals and the Conservatives. And my connections in Fredericton are telling me, they said, hey Tinker, here's what's happening. In the next 4 to 6 years, Tinker, another 5,000 to 7,000 public and civil servants are going to lose their job. So we need to provide a voice, and we need a voice for Miramichi. We've been towing party line, where Moncton, St. John, and Fredericton always continue to dictate. Well, I'm going to turn that into from a triangle into a square, and it's going to be Miramichi, Moncton, St. John, and Fredericton. But when you're a member of a political party, you got a toll party line, loyal to the party, loyal to the leader. As an independent, and I have the experience, and I have the mouth to speak out, we can continue to move Miramichi forward, as well as I can work with whatever party's in, and I can also work with opposition because they also need my help. I believe we're going to have a minority government, and it'd be good for Miramichi to sit pretty by electing Tanker Malley.
Education is a concern always for parents and stuff. You're familiar a little bit as a school bus driver. We've got one new school coming in. There's demands for another one over on the Chatham side of the city. What do you see as the future of education in the city? What needs to be done in terms of school infrastructure, education in general? Your thoughts?
We've seen over the years where schools and some problems in schools, whether it be mold or that schools are very important. Safety in schools are very important. So we need schools on both sides of the river, not just one side. You know, when we talk about governments, you know, governments change. But I just will fight to say, hey, number one, let the teachers teach. Stop changing the curriculum every time government changes. You know, teach our children, you know, the skills that they need for today and tomorrow. Teach them to learn. And the teachers, that's what they do best. You know, we got to maintain our vocational programs. I'm a big advocate to fight for the block release program starting in the high schools. You know, that once you come out of the vocational program, you're coming out with one block. So instead of $10 an hour, our children are going to get $12 and $13 an hour. And the slow ones that are slow learners, because we have kids that are slow learners, well, we can put them working with a journeyman to be able to go and get their, through an apprentice program, to get them their journeyman's license after 4 years. You know, I also believe that by working with the teachers and allowing them to teach, I'm a firm believer government's gotta just leave them teach and do what they do best. You know, everybody is part of the system. When it comes to busing, when I was in government from 1999 to 2006, the government used to order between 100 and 90 buses. Now, former Liberals and Conservatives dropped it down to 50 buses. You know, we've seen transportation with schools important with the snow plows and what's happening with the DOT when they're cut staff, you know, to maintain road safety. And as a school bus driver, we got to have good roads. We got to be able to have the roads down to the pavement after a big snowstorm. Can't take any chances when it comes to the safety of our school children, you know, which are important.
That's all I have in terms of the topics. I'll give you the chance now to speak directly to the voters in Miramichi and tell them why they should cast their vote for you.
Well, I believe that having a strong voice in the legislature for Miramichi is very important. You know, we just went through boundary changes, and the Liberal member and the Conservative member between Robert and Bill never said nothing when we lost one MLA's position. We went from 4 MLAs down to 3. I would have squawked. I would have said, no, you're not going to do that to Miramichi. We don't deserve that. I believe that as an independent MLA and having the experience of a former city councilor and MLA, I can best represent the people being an independent. To be able to work with government and to be able to work with the opposition, no problem. I know the civil servants, I know them well and have been there for 7 years because they also call the shots. Governments only change policy. You know, I will continue to fight for our people, our seniors and our youth. You know, fight for manufacturing jobs for the everyday Miramichiers, trade blocks, 300-bed nursing home facility, eliminate the tax on the hydro bills, to furnace oil, to also to fight to reduce taxes. Both the Liberals and Conservatives had said they were going to do something about the property taxes, never did nothing. You know, and work for our seniors to make sure that their drug plan, it used to be $2 per prescription in 1996, and now it's as high as $11.05. I love my seniors and I love our people, and I believe that I can do the job. You know, I never let our people down when I was a city councilor, and as an independent, I will be a strong voice in the legislature forward to tackle all issues. I'm not just a one-issue person, you know, even though, you know, in the past, the people they had said, you know, what's in it for Tanker? All I want to do is represent the people. You've seen that I had told you earlier about I'm a right to life supporter and the protection of the unborn children. You know, that's my job as well. And to tell the Miramichiers, I appreciate it if you think of my name on the ballot. You know what I stand for, and if you exercise your right to vote.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the interview and the chance to tell my message to Miramichiers.